What is the last thing you think before you go to bed? If the answer to this question is, I have no idea, perhaps it's time to shake things up a little bit. In this video, I'll talk about the idea of pre-sleep thinking and how this simple habit and routine before you go to sleep can drastically reprogram your brain for success. But before I get into it, make sure to like this video as it helps reprogram the algorithm to make sure it gets spread to more people, and subscribe to this channel so I can continue to feed you nuggets of gold to help boost your brain and behavior. So as one of my favorite philosophical quotes once said, we are what we do, excellence therefore is not an act, but habit. While we often apply this philosophy and idea to the waking habits of our daily lives, we often visualize this practice as during the day. But one thing that we may neglect to do is to ensure that our bedtime routine or during the night is on point as well. Ultimately, the very last thing you do before sleep will impact not only your mood for the next day, but the quality in which you sleep as well. So if what you do affects you, so what you think is also important. So this is where pre-sleep thinking comes in. Pre-sleep thinking refers to the intentional process of concentrating on positive thoughts, intentions, and specifically goals before falling asleep. It isn't just about thinking of something that will boost your motivation, but there are numerous benefits. For one, it can influence your subconscious mind. Right before you sleep, that's when your mind is slowly letting its guard down, susceptible to influence. It's at this point the brain is more receptive to suggestions and images. During the day, when we're alert, certain thoughts may not really resonate or infiltrate us deeply. And so this is where pre-sleep thinking comes in handy, as the more regularly you think specifically about goals you wish to obtain, the more these become deeply ingrained into your psyche and reinforces your mind to manifest this into reality. The second benefit is that it also enhances cognitive processing. The last thoughts in your mind are primed deep into your memory. And as such, pre-sleep thinking, where you focus on your goals and motivations, can potentially improve memory recall, problem-solving abilities, and creativity, especially in the realm of your goals. This can be particularly useful as you come up with new ideas to get closer to your dreams. And of course, there's also the visualization and goal-setting aspect of it. As we've talked about in several other videos from other series on successful habits of successful people, everyone from Michael Phelps, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Michael Jordan succeeded with the power of visualization. Visualizing your goals and intentions before sleep can help solidify them into the brain. There have been several studies suggesting that visualization can enhance neural pathways associated with memory and imagination. And then finally, there's emotional regulation. Pre-sleep thinking doesn't only have to be about goals, of course. It can be about when you spend some time assuming a gratitude attitude, focusing on the things you're grateful for. Reflecting on the beautiful things you've been gifted in life can contribute to improved emotional regulation and stress management. It deters any negative thoughts from entering into your mind at the end of the day, and it allows you to end your day on a good note, easing the mind and body, reducing unnecessary anxiety. And this can have a double effect on the next day, as it sets you up with ending the day on a good note and then starting one on that same positive note. So when it comes to the habits of the successful, there's no exact formula for success. Of course, there are general guidelines that a lot of successful people do, but when it comes to pre-sleep behaviors, just looking at some of the most common habits of successful people, you can see a glimpse of why this pre-sleep thinking is so effective. Well, for one, we all know reading is important, as there are endless nuggets of information found in them, but reading at night before you go to bed is a great way to wind down and let your brain settle. Many experts have claimed that many successful people, from Bill Gates to Barack Obama, have mentioned their routine on blocking out time to read right before they go to bed. And then there's the idea of unplugging from everything. We've talked about this on several videos, but of course it's important to put away your phone or laptop when preparing to sleep. It's best not to even have it in the same room to tempt you from grabbing it. Not only does blue light affect your sleep quality, but it's best to spend some time disconnected from everything so you can allow your brain to actually reflect and organize itself without distractions. There are countless research that shows that screen time before bed is horrible for your health. And of course, addressing the next day, while it's best not to think about work, what you can do before going to sleep, and what many successful people do before going to bed, is to have a plan for the next day. Instead of waking up and trying to approach things unprepared or as they unfold, addressing the next day prior to it happening can allow you to tackle it in strides, instead of without structure or clarity. This can be as simple as writing down a few things to accomplish the following day. Obviously, if you go more specific, the better it is. And then of course, instead of just planning what to do next, it's best to reflect on the past day, on everything that went well and perhaps things you could do better. The point here isn't to be negative, but simply to learn from your mistakes and reflect on things you're grateful for. And I've mentioned this countless times, but it goes without saying that mindful meditation is also super powerful for boosting moods, improving emotional regulation or concentration and focus. As such, what a better way to end the day than with meditating mindfully, even if it's just for 10 to 20 minutes. And while this can be a part of the mindful meditation process, what's key here is, as I mentioned earlier, to visualize success, who you want to be, how you want to get there, vividly and clearly. This visualization process, while it may seem absurd at first, done consistently and continuously for long enough, will reprogram the pathways in your mind to aim for achieving exactly that. Reality, after all, is constructed by your brain. What this means is that your brain makes decisions without even knowing it, and if you continue to feed it the same supplementary thoughts of your vision, your goals, your dreams, it will take that information and eventually decide that it is a priority, and thereby your actions the following days will follow its lead. So while all of the habits are definitely ways to reprogram yourself to increase your chances of success, one of the easiest things to do before going to bed is to practice positive pre-sleep thinking. Think about what you want in life, what immediate goals and dreams you hope to achieve and accomplish, as I mentioned earlier. Imagine yourself in that state of success. How do you look and carry yourself? What have you done to get there? How do you dress? How do you speak? You need to be as specific as you can in your visualization. The clearer you can see it, the closer your brain can get in imagining its form, thereby working to actually manifest it into reality. So remember, this is not a one-off thing that will just magically happen if you just wish for it. What is being condoned here is the habit of trying to implement pre-sleep thinking into your daily routines. It won't happen after one day, it won't happen after 1 month, it may not even happen after 1 year. But you do this long enough and your brain will habituate the process of visualizing what you want in your life. And eventually your body will follow, and your actions will follow, and your behaviors will follow, and that process is what creates the vision and dream that you visualized so long ago. Now, if you want to learn more about successful habits, make sure to like the other video and subscribe to this channel so you can continue to get nuggets of gold on brain and behavior.